Hi, and welcome to Baker Affair. I'm Pika, and on today's episode, I'm going to be making Pinoli cookies, which are actually pine nut cookies, which are these little nuts. And they come from pine cones somewhere. Not my pine cones, but supposedly they grow in pine trees, pine cones. So you're gonna need a half a cup of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of granulated sugar, a half a cup of powdered sugar, and I'm not making them the traditional way, which is just almond paste, because I'm adding flour to it, and I always have, and it just works for me. I've been doing it for years. A quarter teaspoon of salt, 1 7-ounce or 8-ounce almond paste. They usually come in a box by the baking section. A teaspoon of a teaspoon of grated orange zest, or a half a teaspoon of orange extract, and that's what I will be using today because I don't have any oranges, and I always have orange extract because if you didn't know this, if you add orange extract to basically anything, it's delicious. If you put it in a sugar cookie, if you put it in whatever, it's delicious. And then you're going to need 1 large egg white and a cup of pine nuts, which I get at the Costco because they're just cheaper there. So, and you're going to need the handy dandy food processor because it's the easiest way to make it. So let's get started. So in the food processor, I'm going to kind of crumble this up. See, it comes in like a block. And I'm just going to kind of crumble it up to begin with, anyway. Basically, you just add everything. Half a teaspoon. You just put everything in there. And you're going to pulse it until it gets crumbly. That's good. So it's crumbly. And then I'm going to add an egg white. Pour this in slowly. Well, that didn't work. That just kind of all went in all at once. That's it. See how it formed? You want it to look like that. See it? It's like formed into a dough. And then these are like super easy to make. If you see what I'm doing right now, because I'll show you what you have to do. This is very sticky. Okay, so you know what this is? This is, I forgot to add the salt. And without the salt, it won't work. So I'm just going to redo it. It's only a little bit of salt, but it really, and I'm just getting in here with my hand, even though it's really super sticky, and just hopefully I can get it mixed up enough that it's good.
And I always say this, but I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. It's who I am. I made a mistake. I forgot to add the salt, so I'm adding it. Leave a comment below if you've ever done anything like me. I mean, I have literally taken cakes out of an oven because I forgot like the vanilla and I know it won't taste good. Have you ever done anything like that? Oh, okay. Let me try this again. With wet hands, you take a ball, you stick them in the pine nuts, and then you stick it on the tray. Super, super easy. About 2 inches apart on the cookie sheet. Okay, so I have them all on the sheets ready to go, 300 degrees, 2 inches apart on the baking sheets, and then they bake for about, you bake until they're golden brown. That's it. So I'm going to go get these into the oven and I'll be back. Okay, so they're all cooled off. I have them on here. And I was trying to think of the closest thing I could think of. What does a pine nut taste like? And it's almost reminiscent of like a sunflower seed to me. It's a little bit different, but that's what it reminds me of. If you've never had a Pinoli nut cookie, I don't know what to say. They're delicious. So I'm going to try one. There's like a crust on the outside and it's chewy on the inside. And they are to die for. And if you're Italian, I'm sure you've had them a million times because I have. I'm telling you. Absolutely delicious. You saw how much time it took to make them, except I forgot the salt and had to put it back in. But they are so easy to make and they're delicious. The only thing is they're a little bit pricey because the pine nuts are expensive and you're using a cup. I did use basically the whole cup. I guess if you wanted to save money, you could just dip half of the cookie, but then you're not going to have them on the bottom and the top. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. It makes me happy. If you want to give this a thumbs up and subscribe, that'd be great. If it's not your jam, no worries. Until the next time, ciao.